Nothing seems to go right in Baltimore anymore. The team that once terrified every offense in the league has now become the perfect opponent for anyone looking to bounce back. And the worst part? Even the Rams offense, one of the least threatening in the NFL so far, had no trouble taking control of the Ravens inside M&T Bank Stadium. That 17-3 score doesn't even tell the full story, because the problem goes way beyond a loss. It's about how this team is playing, lifeless, directionless, and even worse, without answers. Week after week, the confidence just keeps slipping away. What's really happening in Baltimore? And how far can this collapse go? The Baltimore Ravens let their fans down again at home, falling 17-3 to the Los Angeles Rams in a game that once again exposed just how broken this team looks. 4 weeks now, they've been labeled the NFL's get-right team, the one struggling opponents use to look like themselves again, and they lived up to that name once more. Baltimore simply can't impose its will on either side of the ball, and has turned into a test dummy for other teams trying to fix their problems. The fans watch a team with no spark, no direction, and no fight left in it. The score might make it seem like the defense held up better than usual, but the truth is, Baltimore never looked truly competitive. They tried to make Stafford uncomfortable, but gave up big plays at key moments, especially on third downs and in the red zone. Even when the Rams stalled, the Ravens couldn't flip the field or build momentum. The gap in organization and execution between the two sides was obvious from the opening kick, and the result felt inevitable. This loss just adds to Baltimore's growing list of home disappointments, now nearly a month without a win at M&T Bank Stadium, and deepens the sense that the Ravens have completely lost their way. The defense showed brief flashes of life, but the offense once again fell flat, predictable, sluggish, and painfully uninspired. The frustration isn't just about losing. It's about how passive this team has become. That apathy has become a defining trait. Baltimore entered the week desperate to show progress, but they left the field with even more questions. What was supposed to be a get-back-on-track moment turned into another display of confusion and lack of motivation. And while the Ravens continued to spiral, the Rams' focus and discipline only made the difference between the two teams feel wider than ever. This time, the defense wasn't the main culprit. Despite their issues, they actually showed more fight, holding the Rams to just 17 points, which, given Baltimore's recent form, is almost an achievement. They brought pressure, made some clean tackles, and even forced a fumble out of Matthew Stafford. But none of that mattered when the offense once again failed to do its part. Right now, the Ravens' offense is practically non-existent. Short drives, inaccurate passes, and an execution so sloppy it felt desperate. No rhythm, no creativity, no confidence. The play calling was predictable, the offensive line couldn't protect consistently, and even when the defense gave them favorable field position, the offense wasted it within minutes. Every possession felt like another step backward. That disconnect between offense and defense has become the clearest symbol of Baltimore's collapse. The defense wears down from being on the field too long, and the offense keeps giving them nothing in return. When your only points at home come from a single field goal, it's more than just poor execution. It's a full-blown crisis. And that's what the Ravens are facing now, an identity crisis. This team doesn't seem to know who it is or what it's trying to do. Without purpose, there's no way to compete at a high level. Losing to one of the league's weakest offenses only makes that reality impossible to ignore. Even in victory, the Rams walked away from Baltimore with mixed feelings. Sean McVay's squad controlled the game from start to finish, but failed to turn that control into a blowout. 5 trips to the red zone led to just 2 touchdowns, with Stafford struggling to connect with Davante Adams when it mattered most. Still, their dominance was clear, and Los Angeles' defense easily handled a Baltimore offense that looked completely out of sync. Stafford's performance told the story. Steady and efficient, though far from spectacular. He completed 17 of 26 passes for a touchdown and lost 1 fumble on a strip sack. It wasn't flashy, but it was more than enough against a Ravens team that couldn't fight back. After losing Puka Nacua early in the game, the Rams had to adjust their offensive plan, but they stayed composed and disciplined all the way through. The win reinforced how the Rams can still grind out victories even when their offense isn't firing on all cylinders. The defense, in particular, was dominant, holding Baltimore to just 3 points and forcing multiple turnovers. That defensive consistency made it easy to manage the game, even without their usual explosiveness. Stafford summed it up perfectly afterward. "We did just enough to win, and that's what matters." It wasn't a statement win, but it was a wake-up call for Los Angeles. There's plenty to fix before facing the NFC's elite, but a road win in a tough environment checks the box. And doing it at Baltimore's expense only highlighted how far the Ravens have fallen.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Matthew Stafford didn't need to be spectacular to win this one. The veteran did exactly what was expected of him. Controlled the game, avoided costly mistakes, and capitalized on Baltimore's errors. His chemistry with tight end Tyler Higbee stood out, especially in the second half, when their touchdown connection essentially sealed the win. Even when Baltimore's pass rush got close, Stafford stayed calm, showing why he's still one of the most reliable quarterbacks in football. The box score won't blow anyone away, but Stafford's efficiency was textbook. He managed the clock, kept the chains moving, and never forced unnecessary throws, a sharp contrast to the chaos unfolding on the other sideline. His lone misstep was a strip sack by John Jenkins, but aside from that, he guided the Rams with poise and precision. After the game, Stafford admitted the offense left plays on the field, but made it clear that winning is what counts. His "each week is different. The goal is just a win" comment perfectly captures the steady mindset that's fueling this Rams team. That kind of quiet leadership makes a real difference in a league where so many teams fold under pressure. And that's exactly where the contrast with Baltimore becomes obvious. While Stafford and the Rams play with composure and direction, the Ravens looked anxious and lost. The difference in leadership, execution, and mentality between the two sides explains everything about why one team looks stable and the other looks broken. The loss to a Rams offense that had been one of the league's worst might be the harshest blow yet to Baltimore's season. The Ravens look like a team with no identity, no leadership, and no belief. The defense keeps trying to hang on, but the offense is completely stuck, and the frustration is written all over the players' faces. Nothing works. And worse, it feels like the team has stopped believing that it can. Pressure on the coaching staff is mounting, and it's clear the locker room is losing confidence by the week. Frustrated players, the same mistakes on repeat, and no real adjustments. It's a pattern that points to something much deeper than just execution problems. The entire structure seems to be unraveling, and what once looked like a promising season now feels dangerously close to collapse. At this point, every game is a test of survival, not just in the standings, but in spirit. Baltimore needs a turnaround fast, not just on the scoreboard, but in attitude. If they don't, this season could turn into a disaster that shapes decisions in the front office long after it ends. And as the Ravens sink deeper into disarray, the Rams walk away stronger, proving that even when they're not at their best, they can still outclass a team that's lost its way. A harsh lesson for Baltimore, which seems to be running out of answers and running out of time. What we saw against the Rams wasn't just another loss. It was a clear picture of a team losing control of its season. The defense is still trying to hold things together, but the offense remains stuck, predictable, and flat-out lifeless. And when even one of the league's weakest attacks looks comfortable against you, something's seriously broken. Now the big question is, can Baltimore still turn this around? Is there time to rediscover the identity that once made this team so dangerous? Or is this the point where the entire roster finally unravels? Whatever the answer is, one thing for sure, the clock is ticking, and every week without a response pushes the Ravens closer to the point of no return.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.